15th of April 2025, which is being held in person in the Council Chamber at Civic Centre, 25 Ferris Boulevard, South Morang. And the meeting is also being live streamed, so welcome to those who have joined us online, to Monitor Duncan and to some of the cavalry that the directors have brought in tonight. Good to see you here. I am the Mayor, Councillor McClendon, and I would like to introduce our councillors in attendance tonight. Deputy Mayor, Councillor Danielle Azzini, Councillor Christine Stowe, Councillor David Lenberg, Councillor Deb Gunn, Councillor Blair Colwell, Councillor Stephen Kosmevsky, Councillor Nick Brooks, Councillor Laurie Cox, Councillor Jared Lappin, and Councillor Martin Taylor. I'd also like to introduce our Chief Executive Officer, Craig Lloyd, and ask that Craig introduce members of the Executive Leadership Team.
Thank you, Chair. So I'd like to introduce our Director of Community Wellbeing, Agata Himalevsky, Director of Infrastructure and Environment, Debbie Wood, Acting Director of Corporate and Customer Services, Sarah Rowe, Acting Director of Planning and Development, Liam Wilkinson, Executive Manager of Public Affairs, Janine Morgan, and at the table here, the Executive Manager of Office of Council and CEO, Jacinta Stevens. Thank you, Chair.
Thanks, Craig. We'll move to the Acknowledgement of Traditional Owners Statement. On behalf of Council, I recognise the rich Aboriginal heritage of this country and acknowledge the Wurundjeri Willem clan and the Turungurung people as the traditional owners of lands within the City of Whittlesea. I'd also like to personally acknowledge Elders past, present and emerging. I'll now read our Diversity and Good Governance Statement. At the City of Whittlesea, we are proud of our diversity in the many cultures, faiths and beliefs that we make up our community. We strive to be an inclusive, welcoming city that fosters active participation, well-being and connection to each other and this land. We commit as a council to making informed decisions to benefit the people of the City of Whittlesea now and into the future, to support our community's vision of a place for all. With apologies, I note that there are no apologies this evening. We might commence with the acknowledgements. I begin with the West Wollert Community Centre. It was my pleasure early in the month to attend an event celebrating the start of the construction on the $16.2 million West Wollert Community Centre. The centre, which is expected to be finished in early 2027, will include a 3-room kindergarten, creating 198 new places and 2 maternal and child health service consulting rooms. There will be a community hall, kitchen, lounge, activity room, changing places facility and community garden, as well as a mini branch library providing access to Yarra Plenty Regional Library's collection. Council is contributing $7.7 million towards this project, with the Victorian Government providing $6.75 million from its Building Blocks Fund and $1.5 million from its Growing Suburbs Fund. Melbourne Water is also contributing $168,663 towards the facility's car park. And I'll move to the Deputy Mayor for the next acknowledgement.
Thank you, Chair. Acknowledgement of the dog park. We are pleased to advise the City of Whittlesea has been awarded $300,000 and a grant from the Victorian Government new and upgraded dog park program. The funds will be used to build an off-leash park for dogs at VR Michael Reserve in Laylaw. Council will develop a concept plan for the dog park at VR Michael Reserve over the coming months, and the community will be invited to provide their feedback to inform the design. Thank you. Back to you, Chair.
Thank you, Advocacy Wins. It's been a pleasure, pleasing to see a number of announcements from both major parties during the federal election of funding commitments in the local area. These commitments are a direct result of the Council's strong advocacy and our commitment to work in partnership with other levels of government to deliver the solutions our community needs. We welcome these commitments and look forward to working with the incoming government to deliver these important projects, and we wish both sides well.
Thank you, Chair. I'll bring up the Business Award finalists. So finalists have been announced for the 2025 City Whittlesea Business Awards. The awards recognise excellence, innovation and community spirit among local businesses. The finalists have been announced for the following categories: Startup Award, Customer Service Award, Workplace Diversity Award, Community Contribution Award, Sustainability and Environment Award, Innovation and Enterprise Award, Small Business Award. So for more details about all the finalists and the awards night, which is going to be a fantastic celebration of local businesses, please visit our website. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Anzac Day. Next week is Anzac Day, a day to honour the 1.5 million Australians who have served in wars, conflicts and peacekeeping. We also remember the 103,000 people who sacrificed their lives in serving our country. I would encourage you to attend a local service if you can, or to support the RSL's Anzac Day appeal with a donation or by buying a pin. Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Chair. And our last acknowledgement is for those celebrating Easter this weekend. We hope that you have a wonderful time with your family and friends. There will be lots of people on the road, so please stay safe and enjoy your long weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. And thank you, Councillor Stowe. The declarations of conflict of interest. Councillors and officers, if you have a conflict of interest in any item on the agenda, you may verbally disclose the type and nature of the interest now, but you must also make a declaration immediately before consideration of the matters in question. Councillors, are there any items for which you have a conflict of interest to declare? No. That being, do any officers present this evening have any conflicts of interest in any items on tonight's agenda to declare?
No,
No,
Chair.
Chair.
Thank you. Confirmation of the minutes. I seek a motion to confirm the minutes of the following preceding meetings. The scheduled council meeting held on 18th of March 2025. Can I have a mover? Councillor Zini. Seconder, Councillor Cox. I'll now put the matter to a vote. All those in favour of confirming the minutes? Councillor Lemberg, Councillor Gunn, Councillor Colwell, Councillor Stowe, Councillor Zini, myself as Mayor, Councillor Taylor, Councillor Laffin, Councillor Cox, Councillor Brooks and Councillor Stemesky. That being noted, it's unanimously carried. Thank you. Item 4.1, we now move to public question time. The Council allows up to 30 minutes for public questions, petitions or joint letters from our community. The public questions will be read out by the CEO's delegate and responded to by the CEO. Any questions submitted that are not in accordance with the governance rules are either declined or held over to the next scheduled council meeting. All questions and responses will be included in the minutes of the council meeting. I note we have received 4 public questions. In accordance with the governance rules, no introductory or background statements in relation to the question will be read out. I'll now hand over to Jacinta Stevens, the Executive Manager, Office of Council, to read the question and for Craig Lloyd, CEO, to provide the response.
Thank you, Chair. Our first question this evening is from Nick Brain. Will Council consider restoring the principle of no taxation without representation by allowing residents and ratepayers to be able to directly read out legitimate questions they have relating to council business during public question time?
Thank you, Nick, for your question. So under the City of Whittlesea's governance rules, people can submit questions until 12 noon the day prior to a scheduled council meeting. Questions will be read out by the CEO's delegate and responded to by the CEO. Local Government Victoria are considering model governance rules for all councils. However, until these are in place, the City of Whittlesea will continue to use our current governance rules, and there is more detail on the council's website about the council's meetings question time. Thank you.
Our next question is from Eva Moran on behalf of the Outer Northern People's Voices Group. Can Council provide an itemised account of where our rates money is being allocated?
Again, thank you for the question. A detailed account of Council's revenue and expenditure is available in the annual budget as well as Council's annual report. You'll find detail in the Services and Service Performance Indicators section of the budget, and in the annual report on page 56, there is a section titled How Our Rates Revenue Was Spent in 23-24. Both of these documents are readily available on Council's website. Later this evening, Council will be discussing the draft 25-26 annual budget, which officers are recommending be placed out for community consultation.
Our next question is from David Hunter. Could Council please clarify the guidelines of what residents should expect on their footpaths in relation to real estate materials?
Again, thank you for the question. Council's community local law requires that footpaths should be free from obstructions and hazards to ensure paths are accessible, safe and easy to use. Any obstructions can be reported to Council by visiting the Councillor portal on our website, by calling 9217 2170 or submitting a customer request on the Snap Send Solve app. Thank you.
Our last question this evening is from Ross Lee. Please outline the roles and responsibilities of the elected councillors and the roles and responsibilities of the administration under the Local Government Act 2020.
And thank you for your question. Under Section 28 of the Local Government Act, the role of every councillor in representing their municipality includes participating in decision-making of the council, representing the interests of the municipal community in decision-making, and to contribute to the strategic direction of the council through the development and review of key strategic documents of the council, including the council plan. In addition, the Act also defines the role of Mayor, Deputy Mayor and the Chief Executive Officer. Thank you.
Thanks. And CEO. We now move to item 4.2, petitions. 4.2.1, a petition request for the installation of speed humps in Mabel Street and Doreen. A petition has been received from 57 residents requesting council take immediate action concerning the installation of speed humps in Mabel Street and Doreen due to concern of resident safety. We do have a recommendation that Council 1, note the petition relating to Mabel Street, Doreen. Number 2, refer the matter to the Chief Executive Officer for consideration. And number 3, note the Chief Executive Officer will provide all councillors with information at a future briefing in relation to the concerns raised in the petition. Do I have a mover for the recommendation for item 4.2.1? Councillor Taylor. So moved. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Stowe. Councillor Taylor, would you like to speak to the motion? No, thank you, Chair. As seconded, would you like to speak to the motion, Councillor Stowe? No, okay. Are there any other councillors who would like to speak to the motion? Okay, I'll now put the motion to a vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Councillor Lenberg, Councillor Gunn, Councillor Colwell, Councillor Stowe, Councillor Zini, myself as Mayor, Councillor Taylor, Councillor Lappin, Councillor Cox, Councillor Brooks and Councillor Kosmevsky. That is carried unanimously. Thank you, councillors. Item 4.3, there are no joint letters. Consideration of reports. I now call the item 5.1, the planning scheme amendment of C251, rezoning at 307 Bridge Inn Road and 390 Masons Road, Mernda, the planning panel outcome and adoption. And I'll call on the officer introducing the item, who is Mr. Liam Wilkinson, as the Acting Director of Planning and Development. I need to read that. Thank you, Liam.
Thank you, Chair, and good evening, Council. And I'm joined this evening by Stephen Parker, Strategic Planner. So this report relates to Planning Scheme Amendment C251 to the Whittlesea Planning Scheme, which applies to part of land at 307 Bridge Inn Road and 390 Masons Road in Mernda. The amendment is at the final Council decision stage as part of the Planning Scheme Amendment process. The amendment proposes to rezone 21 hectares of land across 2 properties to allow for residential development to support the housing needs of the community. The area subject to the rezoning has been strategically identified for residential development and will integrate into existing residential areas which adjoin the properties. This amendment will also facilitate the transfer of the balance of the properties, 35 hectares, to public ownership for incorporation into the Quarry Hills Parkland. This will support the open space needs of the community and protect areas of environmental and cultural significance. The report discusses the outcomes of an independent planning panel held in November last year in respect to the draft amendment, including a review of submissions received during the exhibition period. The panel were very supportive of the amendment and recognised the community benefit to be realised as a result of the land to be incorporated into the Quarry Hills Parkland. The panel recommended the amendment be adopted by Council, consistent with the exhibited version. Consistent with the panel recommendation, officers recommend that Council also resolve to adopt the Planning Scheme Amendment, C251, as per the exhibited version, included attachment 3 of the report, and submit the amendment to the Minister for Planning for approval. Thank you.
Thank you, Acting Director, for that report. Councillors, do you have any questions relating to this item in the officer recommendation before us? Being none, do I have a motion, a mover for item 5.1? Councillor Lappin, so moved. And do I have a seconder? Councillor Gunn. Councillor Lappin, would you like to speak to the motion?
Yes, please, Chair. Thank you. I see this amendment here really as a win-win for council. I think having the additional homes as well as the expansion of the Quarry Hills Parkland, I think is a very, very well thought out amendment and really good policy for Mernda. I know a few residents in the area were concerned about the incoming traffic and the noise and things like that. I can assure those residents that these issues will be addressed before this project goes ahead. And so, yeah, I really see this motion as really great news for Mernda and the overall community as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Lappin. As the seconder of the motion, Councillor Gunn, would you like to speak to it?
Likewise, I think this is going to be great for the city of Whittlesea, and the expansion of the Quarry Hills parkland area, and fits beautifully in with the master plan, as was explained to us by the executive team at our briefing.
Thank you, Councillor Gunn. Are there any other councillors who'd like to speak to the motion? Councillor Cobble.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to speak in favour of the officer's recommendation and approving the planning scheme amendment. This will see 35 additional hectares added to the Quarry Hills Regional Recreation Park, which will ultimately grow to about 1,000 hectares by 2040, which is a great outcome for the community to participate in active and passive recreation. The proposal will see 21 hectares of urban development, providing 180 to 200 dwellings. By promoting innovative and promising practice in urban development, we as a council are doing our bit to ensure housing supply, which will hopefully see housing prices come down and make it more affordable for young and first home buyers entering the market. So I see this as a wonderful win-win opportunity, as my colleague described it as. The proposed housing location is well integrated and connected to existing residential development and has access to retail, schools and community infrastructure and services. It is with great pleasure I support this officer's recommendation and the amendment to the planning scheme. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Colwell. Any other councillors to speak to the motion? Thank you. And just to reiterate some of the words that have been spoken here, I'd like to thank the officers with their in-depth report that has happened. I think we've struck the balance well here with the unprecedented amount of developments and homes that we're going to have to do in the next 16 years that have been earmarked. But as Councillor Colwell said, I think we've struck the balance right here in between recreation and urban development. So between those 180 to 200 homes, I think we're setting up a blueprint for what will be to come, and we can refine and get it right. So thank you very much for the officers' time and for the recommendation before us. I'll now put the motion to a vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Councillor Lindbergh, Councillor Gunn, Councillor Colwell, Councillor Stowe, Deputy Mayor Councillor Zini, myself, Councillor McClendon, Councillor Taylor, Councillor Lappin, Councillor Cox, Councillor Brooks and Councillor Kosmewski, and that is passed unanimously. Thank you, councillors. Now move to item 5.2 in the proposed budget, the 25-26 proposed financial plan, the 2025-26 to 2034-35 and proposed revenue and rating plan, 25-26 to 2028 to 29. As the Chair, I am exercising my discretion to allow for up to 5 minutes for the officers to present in item 5.2, and the officer introducing the item is Acting Director Sarah Rowe for Customer and Corporate Services. Thank you very much, Sarah.
Thank you, Chair. I'm pleased to report that we've been able to balance our 2025-26 budget and our 10-year financial plan. We've worked hard to align our resources with our strategic priorities, ensuring a sustainable path forward. Next, I'll hand over to Artis, Acting Chief Financial Officer, to introduce the topic and highlight some key points from these strategic documents.
Thank you, Sarah, and good evening, everyone. The purpose of this report is to present to Council the proposed budget 25-26, 10-year proposed financial plan 25-26 to 34-35, and the 4-year proposed revenue and rating plan 25-26 to 28-29, collectively referred to as the proposed financial strategic documents. These documents have been prepared in accordance with the requirements of the Local Government Act 2020 and have been developed to align with community priorities identified through consultation and Council's key strategic directions, ensuring we remain financially responsible while meeting the current needs of our growing community and securing a sustainable future. Through these proposed documents, Council remains committed to delivering critical investment in services, programs and key infrastructure to support our rapidly growing community. For the 25-26 financial year, these documents propose an adjusted underlying deficit of 14.3 million and 19.6 million over 10 years. This is expected to be addressed through responsible financial management and reserve funding allocations to return Council to a surplus position. Council is proposed to invest 347 million in 25-26 and 4 billion over 10 years to continue to deliver essential services, including curbside waste collection, maternal and child health, libraries and the maintenance of parks and open spaces. Additionally, these documents propose an investment of 116.6 million in 25-26 and 1.1 billion over 10 years for new and upgraded infrastructure through our Capital Works program. This funding ensures strong investment across both growing and established areas of our municipality, with significant projects including regional sports precinct in Mernda, the Murnon Community Centre in Donnybrook and Edgars Creek Recreation Reserve in Wallur. Our average rates in 25-26 are proposed to increase by 3%, in line with the rate cap set by the Victorian Government under the Fair Go rating system. Council has worked diligently to identify operational efficiencies, reduce costs and prioritise spending, ensuring we continue to delivering critical services without seeking a variation to the rate cap. This is particularly important as ratepayers will also face additional financial pressures due to state government's replacement of fire service property levy with the newly introduced Emergency Services and Volunteers Fund. This change is expected to cause a significant rise in costs, with most property owners facing an increase of at least double the current charge. A significant financial challenge is the rising cost of waste management services as well. The Victorian Government's landfill levy will rise by 28% per tonne in 25-26, meaning Council can no longer subsidise this charge. As a result, waste charges are set to increase by $84.90 per household, bringing the total of $409.95, including the levy and the cost of glass and FOGO collection services. Despite these changes, our waste charges remain amongst the lowest when compared to neighbouring growth councils. Council remains committed to supporting our vulnerable members of our community by continuing to subsidise state and federal contracted services such as aged care, ensuring critical services remain accessible. Over the next 10 years, Council will invest 18.2 million in community grants to foster social connection, support volunteers and enhance wellbeing, while also maintaining its financial hardship program to assist those in need. In summary, these proposed financial strategic documents balance our commitment to responsible financial management with continued investment in essential services and programs, the upgrading of existing facilities and assets, the protection of our natural environment and open spaces, and the delivery of new infrastructure projects to accommodate our diverse and growing community. I propose the recommendations as outlined in the report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Officer. Councillors, do you have any questions relating to this item? No questions? Okay, I would like just to briefly mention, which was touched on with the state fire levy. Sorry, the council, do I have a mover for the item 5.2 before us? Councillor Zini. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Gunn. Councillor Zini, would you like to speak to the motion before us?
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to mention that this budget in particular is going to be endorsed as proposed documents to commence public exhibition. So I really want to encourage the community to be involved in this particular decision-making with us. So the best thing for you to do is to have a look at the budget online on our website, and also perhaps come to the hearing of submissions committee, which is held on the 6th of May at 5 p.m. here in the chambers. But I just want to reassure the community that we are going to be looking at the budget in quite a lot of detail. Each of the councillors are very motivated to have a look at each aspect of the budget. So I want the community to understand that we are going to be doing our best to make our decision as informed as possible. So that's all I have to say. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Zini. Councillor Gunn is the seconder. Would you like to speak to the motion?
Likewise, I'd just like to also reiterate that this is your chance to have a say in how these documents look. So please come along to any of the pop-ups that happen, any of the opportunities that you have for the public exhibition and to make comment on it. Don't let it go to waste. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Gunn. Any other councillors would like to talk to the motion? Councillor Cox.
Thank you, Chair. I think it's important just to enforce what the Deputy Mayor outlined in terms of the consultation process. I do so because there was a question there tonight about the public coming along and addressing the council. It's not a case of coming along and addressing us in a formal manner. It's a matter of we as councillors are charged with actually financial management responsibility, and it's a task that we take very seriously, and it's a process that we will go through. The consultation phase is very important to the public as well, and there is opportunities in terms of the budget submissions that if you've got ideas or you've got changes that you want to suggest, that's your opportunity. You don't need to wait until a council meeting or bring it up through a question process. There are opportunities through the Coffee with Council process. There is an opportunity to ring your local councillor, your ward councillor. It's a matter of there are plenty of opportunities for public participation in how the budget for the City of Whittlesea is structured. Importantly, in the budget process, there will be a lot of criticism about the fact that there is a rate increase. The rate increase proposed in the budget is the 3% cap that's set by the state government. The reality is, as a council in a developing area, we need a lot more money. You want a lot more services, we've got to fund it. We can only do that with money coming through rates and grants. It is a process that is hard, but we look for opportunities for alternates, and it is a process that you, the public, and you, the residents and ratepayers, are invited to participate in. Please do so.
Thank you, Councillor Cox. Any other councillors like to speak to the motion? My small contribution will be also our roles as councillors too, to identify ways to ensure that we're being prudent, particularly through a cost of living crisis. And as Councillor Zini has said, we will certainly be looking at line items between now and the next, when the budget comes down. But please, as other councillors have said around here, the community consultation is critical. We cannot leave it to the 11th hour. I think our input will be considered, and please, the sooner you can get in, the better. I will also say that I'm extremely disappointed with the state government using us as tax collectors when it comes to the fire levy. Yes, it has been recalled in for under review. What that means, we'll find out. We can only hope. But if there's ever an example of dirty money, it is forcing councillors to collect a rate levy of increase of up to double so far that we know. That's actually been referred to the State Emergency Service and Volunteer levy. But please understand, council does have to do a lot of the dirty work in terms of cost shifting and gathering that. So we need to make sure that we communicate that very loudly and clearly. And please, to our local state MPs who also represent us, now is your time to let them know, whilst the state levy is in review, that it is not good enough. This is a major tax grab and a major shift to councillors to collect it. I'm disappointed about it. I'm sure there's many people around here that are disappointed about that as well. But please, whilst you are giving us feedback, now is also the time to give the state government the feedback, because unfortunately we are tasked with doing a lot of the dirty work, and if we can minimise that and make our voices heard now, we can only hope that that will curtail some of the costs that are imposed upon us, that I know that many people are in a position where they're unable to afford it. So please take that in mind as well. Thank you very much. Are there any, I'll now put the motion to a vote. Now, just to clarify, this is not endorsing the 3% levy for the public. This is endorsing the consultation period to go out with the documents, which is we are obliged to do under statute law. So I will now put the motion to a vote. All those in favour? Councillor Lenberg, Councillor Gunn, Councillor Colwell, Councillor Stowe, Councillor Zenny, myself, Councillor McClendon, Councillor Taylor, Councillor Lappin, Councillor Cox, Councillor Brooks and Councillor Kosmewski. And that motion has been carried unanimously. Thank you, councillors. We now move to item 5.3, the asset plan of 2025 and 2035. It was remiss of me, thank you to the previous acting directors for your report. Sorry, I missed that. The officer introducing the item is our Director for Infrastructure and Environment, none other than Debbie Wood. And I'll now hand it across to you. Thank you, Debbie.
Thank you, Chair. I'm very pleased tonight to be presenting the draft asset plan for 2025 to 2035. Tonight we are seeking Council's support to commence our final stages of public consultation. I have my manager, Jim, here, for the Manager of Assets and Facilities, to present the paper. Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. Good evening, councillors. And if I may, through the chair, I'm actually pleased to present the draft asset plan 2025-35, as Debbie said. The asset plan is a legislative requirement under Section 92 of the Local Government Act 2020. The purpose of the plan is to inform decision-making on how best to manage council's infrastructure portfolio, which is worth $4.03 billion. It strategically aligns with the community plan, which supports the delivery of council's commitments, and it also aligns with the financial plan, ensuring infrastructure decisions are made within the scope of available resources for maintenance, renewal, upgrade, and the development of new assets. The asset plan has been developed using deliberative engagement with the community and stakeholders, reflecting the community's priorities and values. The key outcomes of this engagement was the establishment of 8 guiding principles for asset planning, and in no particular order are summarised as follows. Assets promote an active and healthy community and support community connectivity. Assets reflect a connection to First Peoples and cultural heritage. The assets meet the diverse and evolving needs of the community. They are equitable and accessible. They contribute to community safety. They are optimised for usability, and decisions consider environmental, social, financial and long-term benefits to our community. As Debbie mentioned, the Council report builds upon the engagement process and recommends to Council the commencement of public exhibition and community consultation prior to finalising the asset plan. Post-consideration of the feedback, the final version of the asset plan will be presented to Council in June 2025. Thank you, Council.
Thank you very much for that report. Councillor, do you have any questions relating to this item? Councillor Stowe.
So if residents were interested to see this plan, where would they find it and how do they give feedback?
Thank you, Councillor. That's a really good question. The consultation process will be the same as the budget process, so it will actually start and be put on public display. There will also be part of the community engagement sessions that councils will also be involved in.
I might add to that too. So it'll be available on our website as well. It'll be on our Engage platform where people can make submissions via the website. It'll also be available at all of our customer service centres and our libraries as well. Thank you.
Councillor Stowe.
Will there be any meetings where they can come along and consult with us or with generally?
Yeah, I'm happy to take that. So yes, there'll be a series of pop-ups. All of those will be advertised shortly. So we'll be out and about in the community with the previous documents that were just placed on exhibition, as well as these documents. They'll be widely advertised on our website and on social media. As Councillor Cox mentioned earlier on, there's also opportunities to come along and have conversations with your councillor at the Coffee with Councils, and there's a number of those coming up as well during this period, and also to reach out directly to your councillors as well via the webpage with contact details.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Stowe. Any other councillors? Questions relating to the item? No. Do I have a mover for the motion of item 5.3? Oh, Councillor Stowe moving. So moved. Do I have a seconder? Motion, Councillor Brooks. Thank you, Councillor Stowe. Would you like to speak to the motion?
No, I have nothing further to add, thanks.
Problem. Councillor Brooks, would you like to speak? Second.
Nothing to add, thanks.
Any other councillors want to speak to the motion? Okay, that being, I would like to now put the motion to a vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Councillor Lenberg, Councillor Gunn, Councillor Colwell, Councillor Stowe, Councillor Zini, Councillor McClendon, myself, Councillor Taylor, Councillor Lappin, Councillor Cox, Councillor Brooks and Councillor Kosmevsky, and the motion is passed unanimously. Thank you, councillors. We now move to item 5.4, CT 2025-12, the pruning and maintenance of trees for the City of Whittlesea. And I will now ask our Director of Infrastructure and Environment, Deb Wood, to return to the chair. Thank you, Deb.
Thank you, Chair. Very excited again to present this to you. As you know, trees are a significant asset to our community and to our environment. So this contract is around our maintenance and pruning of our trees. But I have here James, my Manager of Maintenance and Operations, who will talk you through the report. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Debbie, and thank you, Chair. Tonight we seek your endorsement to award contract CT 202512 for the pruning and maintenance of trees within the City of Whittlesea to a company called the Tree Company Agricultural Services for the span of 12 months. So tree management remains an essential frontline service that the City delivers. Trees remain one of the highest engagement points we have with our community, and this contract will ensure that we continue to provide both the safety and amenity to the community, but also we contribute to the beautification of the city. So we are seeking to award that contract to continue those services across the next 12 months. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Director and Officer. Councillors, do you have any questions relating to this item? No? Okay. Do I have a mover for the motion for item 5.4? Councillor Lappin. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Colwell. Councillor Lappin, would you like... Thank you, Director and Officer. Would you like to speak to the motion, Councillor Lappin?
Yes, please, Chair. Thank you. I think this this motion and this way of looking at tree maintenance is very exciting going forward. I think it's no secret that the last few months, I think Whittlesea as a whole has struggled with the tree maintenance. And I know one of the major issues which I get in my area is tree maintenance and tree issues and those sort of related issues. I think unbundling the contract and getting different contractors to look at different aspects of tree maintenance to make sure it's more sustainable is a very clever way of doing it, and I really support the motion, and I thank the directors for their hard work in making this happen.
Thank you, Councillor Lappin. Councillor Colwell, would you like to speak to as a seconder?
Yes, thank you, Mr Chair. I'd like to speak in support of this motion. Obviously, the volume of calls we as councillors get in regards to trees and branches and issues with maintenance is high, and it's quite front of mind that this is a concern for the community. So it's great to see that we're obviously prioritising this as an important piece of a partnership with ultimately the winning tender or the winning contractor. I think it's great that we'll be able to roll out these services and have reassurance that the community can ensure that their trees are maintained, and we have arbitrist services available to do that. So I think it's a great initiative, and I'm more than happy to support it. Thank you very much.
Councillor Colwell. Councillors, anyone want to speak to the motion? Anyone else? Councillor Zini.
Thank you, Chair. Through you, Chair, I'd just like to let the community know that there is ways of advising the council on this particular company pruning and maintenance of trees. Through the customer portal on our City of Whittlesea website is the best way to report any pruning that you need in your nature strip trees. Also through your mobile phone's website under the quick links. It's a little bit harder to find the customer portal, but it's under quick links. I think it's important that we all in our neighbourhood take care of our trees, especially the ones in our nature strip. So please don't be hesitant to get us or give us a call here at council or your councillors and let us know exactly what the issue is with your nature strip trees, because we do have this contract in place and I think we need to obviously use it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Zini. Any other councillors? Comment? Thank you. I think the case for Whittlesea is roads, rubbish and roots, because I think trees is a pretty big issue that comes across all our tables. But as Councillor Zini said, if in doubt, ask, speak out. There's nothing that Director Deb and the crew can't do. She's got a pretty healthy balance, even though she has a very fond love for trees. But I think with this new contract, it's very exciting. We need to keep on top of it and make sure that we can probably improve on what's happened in the past. So, exciting chapter ahead. Thanks very much, everybody. I would like now to put the motion to a vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Councillor Lenberg, Councillor Gunn, Councillor Colwell, Councillor Stowe, Councillor Zini, Councillor McClendon, Councillor Taylor, Councillor Lappin, Councillor Cox, Councillor Brooks and Councillor Kosmevsky, and that is passed unanimously. Thank you, councillors. I now move to number 6, notices of motion. Councillor Zini. Item 6.1 is the CEO Employment Matters Advisory Committee membership. I'll now go to Councillor Zini.
Thank you, Chair. I wish to put through in a procedural motion to move the notice of motion item 6.1 to the next meeting for the 20th of May. I believe it is subject to misinterpretation by the community, and this move is in the interest of procedural fairness in all parties involved.
Thank you, Councillor Zini. Do I have a seconder for Councillor Zini's motion? Councillor Brooks, sorry, got it first. Right? So Councillor Brooks, the seconder. Councillor Zini, would you like to... I have to put that to a vote now. So all those in favour of the procedural motion, Councillor Lenberg, Councillor Gunn, Councillor Colwell, Councillor Stowe, Councillor Zini, Councillor Taylor, Councillor Lappin, Councillor Cox, Councillor Brooks and Councillor Kosmevsky, all in favour. Those against? Nobody, and those abstained is myself, as Councillor McClendon has abstained. Thank you. That motion has carried. Now, councillors... That's moved to May, that's correct? Does that reflect? Okay, and that's it. Thank you, councillors. We now move on to number 7, which is urgent business. Councillors, are there any items of urgent business? No. CEO, do you have any items of urgent business?
No, thank you, Chair.
Number 8, reports of council representatives and CEO update. 8.1, councillor reports. I will call on all councillors to read out their report of activities since the last council meeting. Councillor Zini, would you like to read out your report of activities since our last council meeting?
Thank you, Chair. What I did this month, I have attended citizenship ceremonies, the Business Advisory Committee meeting, the Seniors Club quarterly meeting. I've also attended the Al Zahra Academy Eid Festival, which was sponsored by the City of Whittlesea, which was a great family event. My children got to ride a camel. I also attended a committee meeting for the Whittlesea Interfaith Network, where members really demonstrated to me their commitment to their community. I also had the privilege of spending time with Big Group Hug and the team in Thomastown there at the warehouse. They do require lots more of a donation, especially for the teenage boys. I also attended the BAPS Mill Park event, which was a great community event, and I was left very humbled by the hospitality there. So thank you for everyone's support this month.
Thank you, Councillor Zini. Councillor Stowe, I'll now thank you, Councillor. I'll hand over to Councillor Stowe for your update.
So this month I attended Eris Magnetic Factory in Melbourne, or Magnet Factory in Epping, and I got to have a tour of the Magnet Factory, which was great. I spoke at the Women in Energy event at the Gabal Gidgel event, Women in Energy and Manufacturing, last week, and it was well received, and there was over 40 women there attending who were all interested in employment in manufacturing and energy. And of course, with my background in science, I was very interested in what they had to say. I attended the Ricotta Festival at the Cheese Factory last month with Councillor Brooks, and that was a huge event. A lot of people attended. It was packed all around. I had a coffee and chat in Doreen last Friday with Janine, and that was really, can I say, well attended. But the purpose was to hear from the community and hear what they had to say. So we had some residents turn up and they gave us some very well-rounded feedback, shall I say. And part of the purpose of that too is to get the feedback that I also got from Facebook when I made those posts, so that people know that I'm out and about and I am here and want to hear from what residents have to say. If you don't tell us, we don't know, just as Councillor Cox said earlier. I attended the Olivine Community Group at the Olivine, the cafe, the Shared Cup Cafe in Donnybrook, and they were advocating for to fix Donnybrook Road, and also they're concerned about carers and disability service and the lack thereof in Donnybrook, and also the telecommunication services and the gaps in telecommunication and getting access to the internet up there. On Sunday, I also attended the BAPS with Councillor Zinni and Councillor Colwell, and yes, very humbled, and they do a great job. So, and on Sunday, I attended the Anzac Day March that was put on by the Epping RSL. So we did the march from the hotel to the Memorial Hall, and then afterwards at the RSL.
Thank you, Councillor Stowe. I'll now hand over to Councillor Colwell for your update.
Thank you, Chair. So on the 19th of March, I attended the Whittlesea Cultural Diversity Week celebrations at Plenty Ranges Art and Convention Centre. It was a lovely morning, and it was great to see people wearing their cultural dress and participating and celebrating in the week. On the 27th of March, I attended coffee with councillors at the Jolly Miller Cafe at University Hill, where I and my councillor colleagues were able to engage directly with the community members, hear about issues that affect them while providing positive outcomes. And I look forward to future coffee with councillors and very much encourage community members, if they have the opportunity, to pop out and check out where those events are coming up on the council website. On Sunday, 13th of April, which was this Sunday, I attended BAPS Temple in Mill Park. And as English is my first language, I apologise if I butcher the Hindi here, but I'll give it a try. It was to mark and celebrate Jolly Parva, honouring Shri Ram Navami, and not having the opportunity to attend the BAPS Temple before. It was a rich intercultural opportunity, and I thank the community for their hospitality. I also attended councillor briefings on the 1st and the 10th of April, but that is my activities since our last council meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Councillor Colwell. Councillor Gunn, for your update.
Thank you. This month I've met with a few of the residents to discuss issues and forwarded a good number of CRMs to have those issues assessed and actioned. I've done site visits to Granite Hills and today at the Doreen Splash Park, and I will put some photos out to Janine for some of those. Progress at both sites is going well, and I'm very encouraged to see that we'll be able to start using them sometime soon. On Sunday the 13th, I marched with the Doreen RSL at the Epping RSL's annual Anzac Day March. A service was held at the Memorial Hall, and then we went back to Epping RSL for refreshments, the wonderful Watsonia Pipe Band and a guest speaker. It was great to see Councillors Brooks, Cox and Stowe present as well. A reminder that both Epping and Doreen RSLs have their dawn service on Friday the 25th of April, commencing around 5 a.m, and I believe Whittlesea has one at 2 p.m. Is that? Yes, yep. This Friday is Good Friday, which means collectors are going to be out rattling tins at lots of those traffic lights, so please be careful on the road and watch out for the collectors. Also, make sure you've got plenty of coins in your car ready to hand out to those collectors. For everyone that celebrates Easter, have a happy and safe Easter, stay safe and have lots of fun. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Gunn, and Councillor Lundberg for your update.
Thank you, Chair. On the 19th of March, I had a meeting with Francis Aqua from the Positive Wellness Recovery Centre. Something I just wanted to call out, Francis has been a member of our community for 38 years, and in January of 2024, he was awarded the Order of Australia. It wasn't recognised in 2024. I think there was probably a lot going on with the previous administration. So I just wanted to call out to Francis, congratulations, and you're completely recognised amongst the council members, and we appreciate your service to this country and to the community. I also attended the Whittlesea Cultural Diversity Week celebrations. I missed the formal part of the event, but I did get there at lunch, which was a great time to attend. I attended Neighbourhood House in Lalor, met with Meredith Budge and discussed the ongoing needs of the centre. They're doing a fantastic job, and again, I was provided with lunch. You can see why I'm putting on weight with all these lunches and things going on. Which leads me to the Interroll 31st anniversary event at the Langham Hotel in the city. Again, that was a dinner. I had also attended the Wollert Waste Safari at Heidelberg Materials. Absolutely incredible day. Some of my colleagues were there as well and really enjoyed that event. Didn't realise that amongst the waste park there was technology that's been powered by the gas from that site. So if you can get out there, it's certainly worthwhile doing the safari. Had a meeting with Lively, Sophia Davis and Robin Parkin. I'm very interested in Lively due to their focus on transforming aged care through intergenerational connections. So thank you very much for your time. Finally, I attended the Business Advisory Panel, which was a tour of Costa's facility in Mernda, and learnt all about mushrooms, which was a fantastic day. So thank you once again. I made it. I didn't go over.
Thank you, Councillor Lenberg. Councillor Kosmeski, for your update.
Thank you, Mayor. On the Sunday the 30th of March, Councillor Cox and I attended a community vigil and public awareness gathering at the Macedonian Community Centre for the 59 young lives that were lost in a fire in Kochinan, Macedonia. We placed the wreaths, and it was a well-attended event which all of our local politicians, Andrew Giles, Wendy Halfpenny, Lily D'Ambrosio, were all present, and Jed Kinnear, is it? From Kearney, Northcote member as well. And on Friday the 4th of April, I attended the Yarra Plenty Regional Library all-staff Easter extravaganza event at the Lalor Library. It was nice to see all the staff attend and enjoy themselves, and where they provided the service awards to the employees. On Thursday the 10th of April, I attended Yarra Plenty Regional Library, the Audit and Committee Risk Committee, and also the Yarra Plenty Regional Library Board meeting at the Mill Park Library with Councillor Stowe. On Friday the 11th of April, I attended to the Maltese Senior Citizens Club. They had their Easter lunch at the May Road in Lalor. That was my events for the month. Thank you.
Good man. Thank you, Councillor Kosmeski. I'd like to go to Councillor Brooks for your update, please.
Thank you, Chair. In addition to the regular briefings for the council meetings, I attended the first Coffee with Council at the Jolly Miller in Bundoora. It was good to engage, get some challenging questions, some a little bit easier, but it was definitely good, and also to see multiple councillors at the same event as well. I went to the Wollert Waste Safari with Heidelberg Materials. Yeah, it was very interesting to find out actually what I've been there several times, but never actually out the back to see all the other activities that occur. So it was very educational. I think that if anyone can get a chance to go, it's well worth it. The Ricotta Festival at the Moro Cheese Factory in Thomastown. Lots of people, lots of food, too much, but it was a good day. I also went to the food bank at the Thomastown Football and Netball Club. So it was good to see what the work they're doing for the community, but also a little bit challenging to see how many people were using the services as well. I also attended the Epping RSL March, and also that evening the Heart of Albania Eagles folk dance at Prac to round out the month. So, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Brooks, and I would like to ask Councillor Cox for your update.
Thank you, Chair. My month consisted of a launch of a campaign in the federal election for the local member, Andrew Giles, which saw the attendance of the Deputy PM Defence Minister at the Epping RSL. And the Community Festival and Multicultural launch were also attended by myself. The Epping RSL AGM re-elected Kevin Innes as the President, and I congratulate him. And it was interesting to see the amount of support coming out of the Epping RSL for local sporting clubs and in terms of finance, and also their ongoing work in the veterans area and working with the Doreen RSL in a joint process of ensuring our veterans are well looked after in the area. The march last Sunday has already been referred to, Councillor Stowe and Brooks and Councillor Gunn and myself. It's pleasing to attend that march. It's a local event and it's been going, for me, since the late 70s. It's been going well before that, but it was well attended and well supported. I met with the residents at the Sherwin Rise Retirement Village for morning tea during the month. As Councillor Kosmeski has outlined, the memorial service for the Macedonian community after the tragic events in the Northern Macedonian region, and we acknowledge that in the community. It's very important. And we also had, in addition to the 2 federal members and the state members, we also had Darebin Councillor Connie Boglis also attending and speaking. I had the first meeting of the Whittlesea Reconciliation Group on the 9th of the 4th, and it was a great turnout of all the people there, and look forward to working with them. The citizenship event. I inspected the gathering place the following day with members of the committee and staff, and it's going ahead fantastically, and the work's been done. I note the comments in relation to the announcements of campaign funds, and I'm starting to run out of time, but I think it's something that we need to look into. Can I just ask for a short extension of time, because it's...
You can indulge. Are you happy with another minute,
Yes,
Councillor Cox,
Max.
for indulgement?
Thank you,
I'm happy
Chair.
to do it. Thank you.
I think it's important that we also look at the values that of the promises that have been made. It's great, as the Mayor has said, in terms of both major parties looking for Donnybrook Road and the roundabout changes at Mitchell, but the bridges and the overpass of the Donnybrook Railway line and the duplication of Donnybrook Road. We'd love to see that in Craigieburn Road East, by the way. But it's important to see when promises are made that they're actually valued properly, because the bridges cost, to me, seems a little undervalued. The other issue that I've been involved in is the VCAT hearing, which is something that has been going on in the background in relation to the Law Award. I attended that hearing the other day, and I think it's important to say that the evidence that was brought out in that material is the scheme of fraud that was attempted to occur with the tampering of votes was not Councillor Kosmeski, it was the other candidate involved, and that is quite clear on the evidence that's been presented, but we await that decision. It's reserved at the moment. And the big factor that I have concern about, if the VEC's contentions are that we go to a second ballot, the ratepayers are going to be footing another ballot for this process. The MAV business papers have arrived late this afternoon, and so the State Council meeting is on the 16th of May, and I'm sure that we'll have an opportunity to brief on the motions that are there. Thank you. Sorry to take so long.
Thank you, Councillor Cox, for your update. Councillor Lappin, for your update.
Thank you, Chair. The highlight of my month was attending the Northern Alliance of Greenhouse Action Committee, and so that was a few other councillors around the northern area, obviously in the name, and talking about ways we can work together as councils to address, climate issues and sort of make broader change in that area. So that was very exciting to meet like-minded councillors in that area as well. I've also been doing a bit of door knocking in Mernda and just seeing what concerns are, of, how people are feeling. So I appreciate those members of the community giving me their time and having a chat. But overall for me, it's been quite a more quiet month than other councillors. So hopefully next month is a bit busier for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Lappin. Councillor Cox, Councillor Taylor, for your update.
Thanks, Chair. Since the last council meeting on the 18th of March, I've had the privilege of attending and actively participating as a councillor in a range of community celebrations, events, council briefings and meetings. These include a Whittlesea Audit and Risk Committee meeting, the City of Whittlesea Business Advisory Panel meeting with a tour of the highly innovative facilities at the Costa Factory, the Whittlesea Cultural Diversity Celebration event, 2 Whittlesea Australia Citizenship ceremonies, the Coffee with Councillor Community Interaction event, the Waste Safari Community Open Day, the Northern Region Police Forum. I've commenced a series of inter-council liaison meetings, which is going well. Primary School Food Bank charity event and participated in the magnificent food fight activities with the kids. raising over $10,000 for Food Bank, met with the Victoria Police Re Crime Prevention Initiative discussions, attended 6 council briefing days, continued my door-to-door engagement with residents of the South Morang ward, and I'm engaged with over 23 telephone conversations and meetings with residents and business owners in South Morang. In particular, I wanted to do a special acknowledgement for Shannon Johnson. Shannon Johnson's the owner of the Bicycle Centre in South Morang, who provides a great service to the residents of the city of Whittlesea. Shannon recently competed in the EMTV National Mountain Bike Championships in Victoria and won gold and brought it home for South Morang. So congratulations, Shannon. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Taylor, for the update. For my update here, I'd like to make special mention of Narita Indian Fine Arts, and she has been doing this for some 30 years, for those that know Narita, and she did this special one I said that I would mention it at council, and that was in memory of her sister-in-law. Fantastic event there that was held along with the Minister D'Ambrosio as well, and the former mayor here. That was very special, and what they bring their culture to Whittlesea, I think we're going to be very proud of. Also, it was a privilege to open up the Cultural Diversity Week, as one of the other councillors mentioned, and what I did say at the Australian Citizenship Ceremony last week, that Whittlesea really can be a beacon for hope. We see a lot of the tragedies going around the world and a lot of the tension and the conflicts. And I think we are very lucky and a very good example of a beacon of hope of what we can be when we integrate together. And I think we're a really good example of what humanity can be. So I'm very proud to be the Mayor of City of Whittlesea, as I'm sure you are in representatives, and the cultural diversity that comes here is second to none. I also was over the weekend with the Nepalese New Year feast, and a feast it was indeed. They are such a joyous culture, and they certainly welcome myself and the family there. On Thursdays at Plenty Valley FM 88 every Thursday at 4:10, if you remember, turn the radio on. And if it's not me, to be Councillor Zini giving us an update from the Director Janine and the crew from all the latest and greatest that's going across Whittlesea, never a dull moment. The Resource Centre, which was mentioned, unbelievable what's going on there. To Giorgio Linguantini from Amore Cheese Day, a fantastic example of someone who came out here as a refugee only 21 years ago. Gorge Road businesses are up and open, the parking's there. Please support those businesses. They've had it tough for a couple of months there. It looks fantastic what's happened there. To Bread Hub, went out and visited some of the homeless people with Brendan from Bread Hub, who you know, and also to the Macedonians on the behalf of myself and the Deputy Mayor, to the Macedonian community, as was mentioned by Councillor Cox and Councillor Kosmeski. So thank you, another great time, and please, if you can, pause a moment for Anzac Day to celebrate it, for the freedoms that we enjoy in this country and that we should always never take them for granted. Thanks very much. And now move to the CEO for your report and update.
Thank you, Chair. As the Mayor mentioned, we're pleased to report that the Gorge Road streetscape upgrade in South Morang is now complete and open to the public. The project has transformed the front of the shops into a vibrant space that will help attract new customers to the existing businesses. Some of the improvements include an expanded outdoor dining area with seating, tables, bins and bike racks. We've also improved safety by changing the parking configuration at the front of the shops, installing raised pedestrian crossings and putting in new street lights. The project was funded by the City of Whittlesea and the Victorian Government via a grant from its Growing Suburbs Fund. Our attention will now turn to the rear of the shops, where in the coming months we'll be extending and asphalting the car park, installing new lighting and planting more trees. Construction of the Plenty Road Everton Drive intersection in Mernda is progressing well, with work expected to finish in late 2025. The project includes a 100-metre extension of Everton Drive and a new signalised intersection with Plenty Road that will help improve traffic flow around Mernda and provide a safe access point to the future regional sports precinct. Expressions of interest are open now for the City of Whittlesea's next intake of the Community Leadership Program, and they're open until Monday the 12th of May. It's a free program designed for anyone in the community that wants to lead community projects, establish personal and professional connections, and learn more about local government. So anyone that's interested in that, I strongly encourage you to apply, and you can do that on our website, whittlesea.vic.gov.au/leading change. This month we acknowledge World Immunisation Week. It's just a good reminder, with winter coming up, to get your yearly flu vaccine. Council's team of 7 nurses visit 44 different workplaces during the flu vaccination season, including primary and secondary schools, to help prevent the spread of flu. And we're also holding a number of community sessions for members of the public as well, and you can, again, book your session on our website. We've gone live with our brand new Explore Whittlesea website. It's a one-stop shop for discovering everything in the city of Whittlesea and what it has to offer. Whether you're local or visiting, the site is full of inspiration from natural attractions, family activities and hidden food spots and cultural experiences. Exploring Whittlesea encourages locals and tourists to support local businesses and enjoy the best of their own backyard. So you can visit that at explore.whittlesea.vic.gov.au. And finally, we're starting to communicate out to the community about an upcoming change to the lids on rubbish bins. I know this one's getting a lot of discussion in community. Any dark green lids will be changed to red across the city of Whittlesea. Now, this change is required by the state government, and it will bring us into line with the standardised bin colours being rolled out right across the state. The new red lids will be progressively rolled out through May and June, and all of the old lids will be recycled into new lids, avoiding the waste going to landfill. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Craig. And I failed to mention that the new scoop, and thank you to our media department, you should receive that with our very own Dr. Sarvesh Soni on the front there, Citizen of the Year for 2024. It's meant to that report. And I now note that all these verbal reports will be documented in the minutes. We move to number 9, tabled reports. I note we have no reports to be tabled. Number 10, confidential business. I note we do not have any items of confidential business. And number 11 is the closure. And this brings us to an end of the meeting, and therefore I close the meeting at 7:06. Thank you, community. Thank you, online. Thank you, Monitor Duncan, to directors, staff, everybody. Please enjoy the rest of your evening.